Okay, welcome to Web3 Insights. Okay, so today, what I thought of doing is that we're going to do a deep dive on Mysten Labs. Okay, so the previous video was on SEAL, right, which is a protocol on SUI, which is currently on testnet. So, like when I did this video, because I didn't have a lot of information, it's just a testnet that just came. So I thought, okay, I think what we need to do is to do a deep dive on Mysten Labs. So basically, Mysten Labs is the company that is produced or that is developed these projects. So the projects that Mysten Labs has produced is developed include the SUI blockchain. Actually, let me show you as I say this along the way. So if I go to Mysten Labs, right? So that's the page. Right. So you will see, and I did mention it in the other video, that you see this is the company behind SUI, the blockchain, as the decentralized protocol. They've created their own programming language called Move. They've done this deep book, which is a liquidity protocol. And like in the other video, I mentioned that now they are now they've a test net for this new product called SEAL, right? Okay, so now understanding that, I thought, okay, let's do a deep dive on Mysten Labs as a company, right? Because this is a company which is doing, so many things. Mostly sometimes we just have a company that has a blockchain and that's it, but they're doing many, many things, right? So that's the focus of today's video. This is an educational video and not too much focusing on the airdrop at the moment, but to understand, the this company and its projects. So, okay, so Mysten Labs, to understand, we need to understand who is behind this company, right? So, the first thing to do is to look at, the people who have built SUI, right? Now, SUI, the people behind this company, right? So, these are the co-founders of Mysten Labs, right? So the co-founders of Mysten Labs, right? So there are five. These are five main founders. So we've got Cheng, right? And the one thing that's common amongst all these co-founders is that they are former Meta employees. They are former Facebook employees, right? Ivan has also worked for Apple. He's done, he's been in the software industry for years, right? Sam Blackshear, this is the guy who created the Move programming language. Then you've got Adeniyi, who's mainly into product development and marketing. Also, you've got Kostas Chalkias. He's a cryptographer. And you've got George Danezis. George Danezis, he's also a co-founder of Mysten Labs. He's also a university professor in London, right? So I did a research on these, the five founders, right? Very, very important to know this because now that we know them, we can follow them on Twitter, on X. We get the alpha straight from them. So I thought we should get to know these guys and to understand what the mission of the company is. Also, get to know this website. I'll put links in the description below as well so that you get a feel of the website, also to know who's investing in this. These are the investors behind a 16Z Crypto, Binance, Circle, big Coinbase Ventures. These are big names in the crypto space. So all these are behind them. Also, if you come to, they've got a blog page, see on the blog already, you can see what they've got, the launch of the SEAL testnet, which we discussed in the previous video. Okay, and there's many, many articles here of what's going on, within the SUI. They also have a news article, which they also run, WALRUS, things going on there, So yeah, feel free to come and read for yourselves some of these things. Now, why do I bring these things to you? Because I want us to to do more than just bring you airdrops and test nets. Okay, do this task, but because I mean our channel is an educational channel, and this part of what we are going to be doing, we want you to get to know who's behind the projects, how we how we kind of do the research and all that. Okay, so so that's about Mysten Labs. Okay, there's more, because once you know this, then you can go to Twitter, you can find these guys, and and actually the next part of the video is I'm going to show you some of the things that they have. We get to hear them telling us in their own words what they are creating. Okay, so that's the next part of the video. Okay, so what I've done now is I've just went to the Twitter account or the X account of Ivan, okay, who is the CEO and co-founder of Mysten Labs. Okay, remember we're talking about the people behind Mysten Labs. So he's one of them, and you can follow him on X. Okay, and so let's just listen to how he explains, the products. Okay, because in this small clip, he explains what SUI and WALRUS, the whole idea behind this project. So as I was saying, sometimes it's just best to listen to the people behind the project. So let's have a listen.
Imagine a business model where you are now responsible for holding customers' assets, which is sort of the blockchain model. You keep your assets, extending that to WALRUS as well, right? Storage, information, right? What if you're not responsible for your customers' information? Essentially delegating the responsibility to decentralized infrastructure. And then finally, right, with sales coming up next after WALRUS, is you're no longer responsible for customer sequence. This is, to us, the minimum viable set of infrastructure for a business to transform into this trustless model. What does that actually look like? And we're going to challenge people thinking about, all you need is a blockchain. That's just completely wrong, right? You need a lot more, because otherwise you fall back to a centralized solution for these key parts.
Okay, so you see, so he's explaining more about he's trying to explain all the parts. Like, okay, you've got SUI, the blockchain, you've got WALRUS, the decentralized storage, and now he's explaining how SEAL, comes as a part that's needed, a critical component of that. Okay, so there's different ways of understanding. So I also went to the other founders, just to find how they are explaining their project. So this is Adeniyi's page. This is Adeniyi's Twitter account. Again, follow him. He always brings some alpha, so you can see here, he's already this April 2nd, and he's already talking about, okay, he likes bring out some alpha here. We are building ultimate communication layer combining SUI network, WALRUS protocol, and the SUI name service DApp. Okay, so again, listening to these guys makes you understand what they are building. What I'm saying is, instead of waiting for YouTubers and to get information, a third-hand information, you might as well hear it from from the horse's mouth, as they say it. Let's listen to these guys, because they are the ones behind, and that's part of what we do at Web3 Insights. We want you to get the tools to learn for yourself. So this is why I'm bringing these guys, because if you're bullish on SUI, if you're bullish on WALRUS, it's good that you follow these guys. So okay, let's listen.
So we believe communication channels, or at least communication protocols, should be something everybody can use. We don't think it's something that belongs to one super app versus another. So what SUI enables you to do, including WALRUS and SUI, this is a marrying, this is what we're saying is a platform. You're marrying the features of SUI, the object element and the ability to coordinate communication. Then you have SUI-NS as a way to name assets, objects, people in an ecosystem. And you have WALRUS as a way to, front load websites or chat or boards that you may want to host. You have nine of the three together, you have an amazing... What that means now is, from my SUI wallet to someone's Phantom wallet, I can start a phone call, a video call, or a chat, or whatever kind of comms. We can play games together as a result of that. I can share my screen. So wallet-to-wallet communication is going to be a thing. Wallet-to-messenger communication is going to be a thing. It will be this ubiquitous system that is not locked. to a single system. Right now, if I want to make a call on WhatsApp, I call WhatsApp users and that's it. If I want to call someone, FaceTime only. If I want to call someone using Facebook Messenger, I can only call people on Facebook Messenger. With what we're talking about, it appends the entire system, makes it fully transparent, fully open. I can communicate to anybody, irrespective of what medium or what software they want to use to receive communication. So SUI wallet to Phantom wallet, SUI wallet to Messenger, WhatsApp to SUI wallet. Those are the kind of things that this kind of system is going to enable. We believe it's going to be a much more powerful system for communication that's ever existed, and that you have the governance required. I can decide to only receive calls from people I know, or I can choose to request calls from anybody in the world. So the controls you have right now, spam calls are a major pain in the neck for most people. Well, this is an authenticated communication channel that you build, so it's impossible to get spam calls. So these are the kind of things we believe the internet really lacks, and it's a strong story that we feel only SUI married with WALRUS and SUI can do.
Okay, there you go. So you see, again, this is what I mean, that by listening to these guys, you get a deeper understanding of what they are trying to build, right? So you mentioned the fact that what they are building, right, when they integrate SUI, the blockchain, WALRUS, and the SUI domain, SUI name service, then you can have something that will allow communication, beyond, all these barriers. Like you can now, if you are, let's say, on FaceTime, you can now call somebody on WhatsApp. If you are on a Phantom wallet or you are on SUI wallet, you can now make a call to somebody who's on WhatsApp. Or so in other words, now they are breaking all these barriers. Instead of just being confined to WhatsApp, you can now communicate with somebody on FaceTime and all that, right? So I think this is very, very important for us, because with Web3, with what we're trying to do at Web3 Insight, I want us to move beyond just knowing the name of the coin or the token that I hold SUI in my wallet. No, I want you to get an understanding who is behind SUI, what are they building, what can it do for us, you see. And those are reasons that from an educational basis, then you get to understand. And also from an investor, you know what you're investing in. This knowledge makes you at least understand and get to believe in what you are trying to do. Okay, yeah, so that's one of the things. And the other one, okay, let me just pick this call, right? I'll just call it back, right? Okay, so yeah, so the last one I'll show you. So you've seen, so there's another clip from one of the founders. Okay, so this is George Danezis. Okay, again, you see, so I'm getting all these on what's his name, Adeniyi's Twitter page. So yeah, let's have a listen again on this one. It's only a minute.
What's the overall vision of WALRUS protocol? Well, WALRUS is part of the overall vision of Mysten Labs, which is to replace all the components of the centralized, if you want, stack, cloud services with decentralized components. SUI kind of like replaces the accounting layer, if you want, with a decentralized accounting layer. WALRUS now substitutes centralized cloud storage with decentralized cloud storage. Right? So now you can build richer applications, if you want, that are fully in that kind of decentralized realm. And this is the vision that we have really as a company, to provide developers all the components that they need to build decentralized applications, and to make it as easy as it is today to build a centralized application on, let's say, Amazon Web Services or Google Cloud. WALRUS is that kind of storage piece that is necessary. Because let's face it, building decentralized applications without big storage is a bit boring. You can't have pictures, you can't have videos, you can't have websites, you can't have anything that looks fun. So WALRUS kind of enables this fun to come back to Web3.
Okay, so that was George Danezis, who's also a co-founder of Mysten Labs, and is a professor at the University in London. All right. So, okay, and here's another clip from Kostas Chalkias, who's also one of the co-founders of Mysten. All right. Again, so he's trying to explain as well, seal. Okay, so let's listen.
We're having many cryptographers working on the seal at the moment. Seal will be a way to be able to situations like DocuSign, anything you can imagine where you can share privately data on the WALRUS decentralized storage system. that can be used from other blockchains as well, but also have all of the primitives for your security and your confidentiality. So seal is a very elegant way to be able to define access controls on data. Because when you're storing data, imagine, right? When you're storing data, even if it's decentralized, nobody stops you from having access to the content. So you need another layer, an encryption layer. And seal is the connecting factor here, where we're working on very cool protocols, how to define the rules on who can see your data. Yes, you need this, right? You need this. Just having decentralized storage, you cannot build a DocuSign. You cannot build necessarily Dropbox, right? You need something else. And this is where the cryptography team is now involved in the WALRUS system and the combination between programmability, identity, storage. You need extra layers of cryptography, and you need this to be fast, because if it's decentralized, it's a bit more complex how to design the systems. And we have the team who did it. I already have examples now that I can give, very unique access controls that you've never seen in the past in Dropbox or Google Docs or anything else, but you will see it on WALRUS.
Okay, so yeah, that's that's what I'm talking about. That when we listen to the developers, the people who are hands-on, who are designing these projects, you get a deeper understanding. So I mean, when the testnet came, I personally had no understanding what seal is, but now we know what it is, right? So if you understand what he's saying, so right, these are layers. We've got the blockchain, which is the SUI blockchain, right? Now, within that blockchain, now we have WALRUS, which is the storage. Now, seal is the layer that's going to give access controls. In other words, it's going to make encryption possible. So yeah, as we get to understand this, you start understanding the reasons why. Because they are saying you've got a decentralized protocol, you've got a storage, but you can't just have everyone accessing it. So in order to have that control of who gets access to what information, you need seal. That's where it comes in. So yeah, I thought this would help us understand more, also to get to know the founder, to get to know the project, to get to know what they are doing. So yeah, that's why I'm trying to get these pieces together, and I hope it helps us to all understand.